Chaim, it's going to be a long night for you. What are your thoughts right now?
It's going to be a long days. Netanyahu has 61 in the exit polls as a majority in the parliament, but it can change easily to 60, and then he will not have a majority in the parliament with a lot of, I will say, hostility from the other parties that will try to send the country to a fifth elections. So it will be a very long night. It's going to be a very long days because the final results only will be on Friday, and every envelope can change the difference between 61 and 60. So we need to have patience. It will be like in the United States. We need to wait, stay still and have patience.
Yeah, of course, the big difference is the United States is that it's always really two parties, isn't it? I mean, the 60 to 61 that you're mentioning, almost certainly has to include the Yamina party of Naftali Bennett. Are you certain that Bennett would join forces with Netanyahu? I mean, he spent the campaign absolutely slamming Netanyahu.
Naftali Bennett wanted to be a prime minister, but you need to be realistic. With 7 or 8 seats in the parliament out of 120, when the Likud will have 31, 32, to say, I want to be a prime minister is a little bit ridiculous. What is Naftali Bennett's options? He thought he will be back. During the coronavirus, he had polls that he will have 20 seats. What he will do exactly with 7 or 8 seats? So I think his cards in this poker game are very weak. And I don't think he has any choice but to join Netanyahu. The question is if it will be enough for Netanyahu to form a government. For Bennett to go to a fifth election is a disaster. His thing was the coronavirus. The coronavirus has ended in Israel. He's bleeding seats. So I think he will not have any options.
What about the stability of this sort of coalition that Netanyahu will have to put together? I mean, how many parties are we talking about, and what does that do to the stability of any government?
Let's say if Netanyahu will succeed to form a government with 61 seats, he will have a very loyal bloc of the ultra-Orthodox parties, but he will do everything he wants, especially in diplomatic issues and security issues, etc. But now we have in the parliament a very extreme right-wing fraction that came inside for the first time for many, many years. We have the Kahana representative Itamar Ben-Gvir, and we have also a very radical religious guy called Avi Maoz. And it will be very hard to have them inside of the coalition. From the other side, you have Naftali Bennett. I think he will join the coalition, but he can't stand Netanyahu on a personal level. So they will have many, many political fights. But to compare to the other options, it can be a very stable government, a very right-wing government. It will be interesting how a right-wing government will handle new peace agreements in the Middle East, how they will handle the negotiations with Iran, a Biden Democratic administration. It will be very interesting, but for internal issues, it will be a very stable coalition. It's not like we had now with a government that they cannot have a seat together because they cannot stand each other.
Chaim, really appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. Chaim Levinson from the Israeli newspaper Haaretz.